Hi, welcome to another typology interview. We have Bradley. How's it going, Bradley?
Oh, I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Really
Yeah.
good to meet you. Thanks for coming.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay, so we were talking a little bit and you didn't get officially typed, but you had like sort of a call and they sort of typed you based on the call. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good jumping point. It's a good place to start. And you were
Okay.
telling me that you've been in typology for about 2 years.
Yeah, around then.
Right.
Around that time.
So what other types were you getting before you got typed by OP?
Let's see. The first time I took the test, I got INFP, and I read the profile, I read some of the function stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's sort of like somewhat accurate. Like in terms of functions, it's FI, NE, SI, and TE, and it's like the NESI really like grabbed me, and
Right.
then the FIT is sort of like what I was like iffy about. And then during that time, I like talked to some of my family know about it, and based on like my typology like online group, they all thought it was like INTP.
Right.
So at that time, it's like, nah, I don't really think I am. So I just sort of like sat with INFP for a bit, and I got into Enneagram, and that's when Enneagram really immediately like changed me because I typed as the type that I actually think I am.
Okay.
So there's like a lot of immediate resonance with that. And then like I was in Enneagram for a bit, then I went back to the MBTI. I was like, okay, let me get back more into this fully and sort of understand what's going on. And I basically after going into socionics and Jung's I can't believe I forgot the name of the book. The
Psychological types.
yeah, psychological
Yeah.
types, yeah. So I read the way he describes the functions. It's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'm probably TI over FI based on
Oh, really?
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
So
yeah, I
then,
shifted to just like TI lead.
right. And so then from the call, they said you were lead OE?
Yeah, they actually said there was SEFI, and I
SEFI. Okay.
yeah, and I typed myself as TINE from I typed
Right.
myself as INTP, so I
Right.
just sort of like switched from that to TINE.
So tell me a little bit about what's going on behind you there. Is this your room or this is someone else's room?
No, it's actually my mom's room. It's
Right.
actually I when I moved back with my parents.
Right.
There's
Okay.
it's only a two bedroom. My brother was already here, so he's upstairs, and my
Yeah,
mom
yeah.
was
We
down
talked
here.
about it.
And,
I didn't want to
yeah.
get too much into your personal life here on
Right. Yeah. But
yeah.
no, this is not
It's
my
just
room.
yeah, it's just a temporary situation that you yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So I was wondering because like someone would lead SE, I don't think that would be the way they would decorate their room, but
Yeah. Like I typed my mom as lead FE
okay.
with SI. So yeah, this
Yeah.
is definitely yeah.
Right.
It's not my room.
So like do you identify with SE at all? Do you identify with being very present and in the moment?
Not at
No.
all. No. So the funny thing is that both INTP and INFP in MBTI and Socionics are supposed to have SE as the worst function.
Yeah.
So I got into this and I got into the like I did like I was spent like 30 minutes of like prearranged like what's going on in my life videos, like three 8 minute clips, like sort of about like what's going on, talked about like my job situation
Right.
and sort of like how I spent my 20s, and based on that is how they typed me SE lead.
Like did you get something from the call? Was the call at least beneficial not connected to your type at least?
Yeah, well, even with the typing stuff, it was really illuminating. Like
Yeah.
it typed me as visual modality, which I wouldn't have seen in myself had it not been for the call, and I fully
Right.
agree with that.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the demons are still the same as I thought they were, like demon animals, demon play and demon blast.
Right.
I have problems with OI and problems with DE, so those are both like potential growth areas.
Right. And so
But like,
you also saw yourself as gather over organize
yeah,
and self over
essentially,
tribe.
yeah, the very first thing she mentioned to me is that immediately was obvious is that I'm OE over OI. So, and I
Right.
agree with that. So,
hmm So like tell me a little bit about your double observers or double deciders. What do you see play out more in your life?
yeah, that's the thing that was really weird because originally I thought like there's no way I was a double decider,
Right.
and I saw like I mean, I assumed I was NESI based on like my MBTI type, and I saw that as like bouncing back and forth between like what I know and what could be from what I know. And compared to like the identity tribe stuff, to me, I always thought it was like I didn't really get hung up on that sort of stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, for for me, I thought double observing was something like this is what I know to be true from the past, and this is how I can bring things from the past into the present. But because it's not the present, it's not real, and that's sort of how I experience like any is just jumping around from places to places from a past in the present.
Hmm. What do you see? What do you see as the present? What do you see as the world around you? What do you see as the universe?
It's a very good question. How do I experience the present? Well, that's something that I can't really answer because I see like experiencing the present as SE.
As SE,
And
you see the
yeah,
sensory.
right. Like gathering the sensory is, I think that's SE,
Yeah.
and I can't. I'm not. I don't see myself doing that at all. Like obviously, like everyone can use SE, but I'm not really in the present. I just like use the present as like a jumping off point.
Hmm.
So I either use the present as like comparing it with like how it was before last time I saw it, or seeing of like how I can like do things in the present which aren't like already there. So it's like, I mean, I guess you could call it like messing with the present is how any is typically described, but
Right.
that's how I experience. I don't experience the present as something that just is. It's like there's always potential in the present,
Do you
and
feel
that's
like do you
primarily
feel
what
like
I'm looking
you see a lot of connections and you enjoy all of like the like a plethora of connections all the time, making new connections, or do you feel like you're always trying to fit something into one general, concise connect, trying to merge
for.
everything?
No, I don't feel like concise at all. I feel like whenever I think of a possibility, like two more come up.
Yeah.
So it's like not narrowing down at all. It's like if I when I narrow down, it's like I branch out, branch out, branch out, and then gradually like bring it back in, and that's when like the general
So
pattern.
explain like, do you have an example of when you generally brought something in that was a good conclusion or something that you can tell us
Um,
about?
I mean, what's fresh in my mind is just like the call. So
Right.
I'll just sort of like summarize what went on in that. Basically, what happened is that she it was mostly about my typing, and then like how she advised me based on the type was like sort of like an afterthought. But
Right.
basically, what she and Dave both, because they both typed me apparently, and they both got me the same type out of 512.
Okay.
So what she initially observed is that I was OE lead, gather over organize. Then she observed that I was consume sleep over blast play. I definitely had consume
Yeah.
sleep in my top two. Then she said that I was self above tribe,
Yeah.
and she said that I had like some disdain for the tribe. And
Right.
I mean, I basically thought I was an IP, and I still think I'm an IP. So like, I think that self and tribe, like, I'm definitely on the heavily on the self there.
Yeah.
And then we got onto like the modalities and the sexual functions, and she saw I thought I was double masculine, but I realized that being kinesthetic doesn't really track at all, and being visual
Right.
tracks a lot. So that was really valuable. And then she warned me that we were about to like get into like maybe we won't agree on this territory.
Right.
So if I can remember correctly, she went immediately into she thought I was FETI, which I typed as INFP and MBTI for a bit, and they use FETI as their axis. So that wasn't like a huge shock that she saw that in me. Then she got to the NESI, and that's where I was really like, what?
Mm.
I was like, she's explaining to me, it's like, and it went in one ear and out the other ear because there was like nothing I could like grab onto. Nothing like made sense that was coming out to me. And she basically thought that what I needed to do was like go do an eye, go observe patterns from other people and like integrate them into your own life. And I was thinking, it's like, I don't even know how to do that. Like, can you please explain what I'm supposed to be doing? Because
So
I don't understand my type.
can you go further into that statement you said about you had nothing to grab onto? It was something wasn't making sense. Does that happen does that happen other places in your life? Are there other
Like,
experiences where
that don't make sense.
yeah, that sometimes something doesn't make sense, you have nothing to grab onto?
I mean, most of the life, honestly. Like most of my experience with like getting information is like, I don't get it.
Uh-huh.
That's basically how I experience TI. It's like I don't get it. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
So I mean, I'm not sure if that is TI. I've assumed it was
So
TI,
so
but
for me that kind of sounds like maybe it is demon NI. The fact that
really,
yeah, you're getting this information and you have no way to ground it. You have no way to connect it to something.
well, yeah, but it's not really connected to reality. It's connected to my concept of reality. So it's like
Yeah,
basically
which is NI, your
concept
concept
of
of
reality,
reality.
really.
Yeah.
So
Or well, it could be any as well. I don't know. It could be, but
yeah, it's like that's the
but
thing. Like it could be a
it's
bunch of
demon
different
N.
things.
It's demon N, and if you
Yeah,
are gather over organize, so then that would make your demon N and I.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that depends on how. Like I still don't see how I'm organizing patterns in any sense. So maybe it's just like straight up demon and I that I can't see it. But
Right. Well, I also
in terms
find
of,
that lead SEs,
mhm.
they actually end up getting really, really good at understanding the patterns. It just takes them a long time. They put in a lot of work to learn everything and to learn all of the sensory information. And then after like very long periods of time, they'll just get that concept so solidly and so much better than a lead NI. They'll know all the ins and outs of the concept, and they'll have mastery over it so much better than anyone else.
Hmm.
Whereas like lead NI would like automatically get the concept and not really care about all of the details and stuff. And so they'll get tripped up later on that concept because they won't have it like is developed as someone with a lead SE.
I mean, that's definitely like one perspective that I haven't fully considered because the thing I can't get on board is that I'm lead SE
Right.
because I don't I don't know what it means to be in the now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the stereotype of being savior SE is that the only moment that counts is like right now, and everything else is like an afterthought. But that could just be like an SE stereotype.
Could be.
But for me, I never experienced the now as the now. It's always something that is just one point in time.
But they put you as TI as one of your saviors as well?
They actually put me as FI as one of my
As
saviors.
FI. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell me um what's more important to you? What works? The truth, or they're both the same thing in your opinion?
What works for the truth? Which one is more
Yeah.
important?
What works or the truth, or they're both the same?
I mean, I think that they're more the same because you can't really deny what's working.
Uh-huh.
Like, I might have like oppositions, like it shouldn't really work that way, but it is working that way. So it's like, who am I to argue?
And that for you is the
But
truth.
no, but I do know that it works.
Uh-huh.
So it's like for me, it's like the truth should be like this, and it shouldn't work that way. But at least I recognize that it is working for other people.
Uh-huh.
But it's like I can't really understand why it works that way
Uh-huh.
or how it works for other people. But I just know that it is working because like I'm not blind to the results. Like the result is that it's working. It's achieving some sort of a result that's
Yeah.
agreeable to some people, and it's just not something I like lived with. It's like okay, like I don't really understand how it works that way, but it just
Right.
does.
Yeah. So a couple times right now you said, I don't understand. I don't understand, which
Yeah,
is also shows significant that maybe you have demon S N I or demon N
mm,
at least.
interesting.
And the other thing, when you were saying about what works, how you were like, you don't understand always what works. It sounds like demon TE.
Hmm. All right. I
Yeah.
mean, I definitely like, I type myself as an NT, so I definitely
Yeah.
see that in myself.
Right. So like
But
that's the opposite side of the coin that would be your blast area. And that would be probably what you're what do you aspiring to. You'd be aspiring to that because like an NT would aspire to SF. Like it's always the nerd wants to be the cool guy, right? So
I
it's the
mean,
SF aspiring to the NT. It's the same thing. It's aspiring to be. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. But like that
yeah,
might
I
be what
mean,
you're trying to get to. Yeah, I
that
think
that's
that's good.
that's definitely one way I'm looking at it, but
Yeah,
I'm also like, I don't think I can be this blind to SF because of like of all the things, like of all the coins that I sit on,
right.
SF is the one. Well, maybe with like lead SC and SF like the two that is just like I don't see it. Like I
Yeah,
can you can make an argument for double deciding or for double observing. You can make a argument for like being a OE lead.
right.
Um, but I can't like valuing stuff in the physical world is I don't know what that means.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, what kind of things do you like to do? Do you have hobbies, passions?
Um, passions. I mean, I don't really. I sort of like neglected my passions, I guess. Like I used to be like into video games and walking and music, but I don't really do much of those things anymore.
What What's your favorite video game?
Um, the only one I actually play like often is like the Blizzard card game Hearthstone. It's like based on
Yeah,
like the Warcraft universe, sort of
yeah.
like it's just a collectible card game.
What about the music? What kind of music do you like?
Well, I'm classically trained, so
Oh, okay.
I play mostly clarinet, but I haven't done that. I used to really
Really?
enjoy that. Yeah.
As a lead
Uh,
visual? Okay.
yeah. I mean,
Was it more reading? Was it more like
no, I like
yeah,
purely enjoy the listening. Like
yeah.
I have visuals in my head most of the time,
Okay.
but I really do enjoy how music sounds and how noises like combine and how people can like project a certain sound that's like not their own voice, but it's
Right.
something that comes from them still.
Do you feel like you're see like present and in the moment I guess would be more play, but do you feel like you can be present and in the moment when you're listening to music?
No,
No.
maybe for like moments, like in the moment, but other times I just like zone out.
Yeah, because
Even when I'm playing, it's like I zone out, and then
Mhm.
it's like moments pass and I zone back, and it's like I don't even know what happened.
Yeah. Because like the lead so like if you were lead at FI, for example, you would know what you liked. You would know your values. Like, are you aware of your values? Like, tell me, what about like, what do you think about abortion, for example?
Um, I mean, it's necessary. Is basically how I feel. Like, obviously, like there can't be no abortion because like there are some cases where it's like legitimately like life threatening to the mother, but also there can't be like no consequences for this like going down and getting it done like whenever you want, like no abortion whenever you want.
Right.
And of course, like no one's saying like one or the other. There's like a bunch of like gray areas of like abortions for some, and only in these cases. But I
See, now you're
basically feel
giving
like it.
reasons. Yeah, now you're giving
Yeah.
reason. Yeah.
Hmm. But I
Um,
mean, I think it's unreasonable to say no abortions for anyone.
right. And then, mhm. Yeah, it's a question because before you were talking about demon TE, but now you might be talking more about um, because I'm not getting the F. The F would be values, and the abortion, like if it was just a value, would be a value. You wouldn't have to go out and give reasons, right?
Yeah.
You're basing your
Mm,
entire thought process on abortions based on reasons rather than values.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see values as reliable. Like they're nice to have, but there has to be more than just liking something. Because if you're like putting that out into the world, like basically it's like you're responsible for your actions. And if your reason for doing something is like, I don't know, I just want to do it, I just liked it, that's like when it's affecting other
Well,
people, it's
I
like
don't think
not.
it's that. I think it's equivocating values. So like, someone would be like, okay, well, the mother's life is more valuable than the child's life, or
Oh, okay. In
the
terms of like
value,
value
yeah,
thinking.
the
Okay, got it.
value of choice is more valuable than the value of life, or something like that.
Okay.
And so they'd be
Yeah.
equivocating all these values, and they'll be like, okay, so this is the most valuable thing. Let's go for like choice is the most valuable thing. So nothing can override choice, right? So that's kind of how like the value system would work.
Okay. I see what you're saying, but yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely don't. I don't put values above reasons in that
Right.
aspect.
Yeah.
That respect.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Well, welcome to getting typed, man. Welcome to the
Yeah.
lifelong journey. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think you're
Yeah.
gonna end up
Exactly.
going for like a full type video at some point after you've been in the class for a while?
Yeah. I think I've only been in for like 3 weeks, and I think
Right.
the frame is like 60 days now. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not just gonna like sit on ESFP until then. Like I'm
Right.
definitely gonna do more digging in and looking
Right.
for myself.
Cool, man. Yeah. Do
Mhm.
you have anything that you want to promote or anything at all?
Um, no, not really.
No. Do you have anything you want to say to the tribe?
Yeah. I get it. Like if for those people who I'm one of the people who like always thought my type was like pretty certain, but for
Right.
like some of those people who like think that 8 different types, like I get it now. Like now that I've gotten like a type that's different from like the types I've tested as and the type I thought I was and the types that people told me I was. Like I
Right.
definitely understand like all the confusion and all the like I'm not sure where I lie on the spectrum of types.
Right.
So, but before I only heard the stories, but now to experience it for myself, yeah, it's not. It's not. I mean, it's not a place I choose to be if I could,
Yeah.
but I'm
Exactly.
here now, so yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a message. Just like I get it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're confused, or you're still certain about what your type is? And
Well, it's definitely something I can consider. Like I can see how they don't see me as TNI, but I also have a very hard time just accepting what they're giving me.
right.
So it's
Yeah.
not something that I completely discounted. Like I can see the validity and I can see they explain the reasoning pretty well.
Yeah.
But also it's something that I'm gonna have to go through for myself and see if it makes sense. Because right now it
But
just doesn't.
right. But I mean, even just knowing your animals and agreeing about your animals is huge, because like that for
Right.
me is the hardest thing for me to agree on. Whereas
Oh
like
really?
my functions, I completely agree. It's just my animals
Mm.
are the hardest, for example. And other people, their modalities end up getting really hard for them to accept. So like at least if you have that agreement on your animals, that's huge.
Mhm.
And so you know you
Yeah.
need to be practicing your blast, and you need to be practicing your play to
Right.
develop yourself. So like that's a
Yeah.
huge step.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the points of growth are still the same. So yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. The only thing is, I don't know if you like, if you're not really in the present moment that much, then you might even be organize over gather, which,
Yeah, which is like another like point
right.
that like doesn't
So
coalesce with the others. Yeah,
exactly. So I don't know if you should be spending your time trying to organize right now, or trying to
because
gather. Yeah.
it could
Right.
be my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. But still blast and play. That's a good place to start on your self growth for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Good
Yeah.
luck, Bradley. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having
Pleasure.
me again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.